welcome to Cutting to the Bone in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, I'm hanging out with Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
This week we're doing a movie special, and the movie we've chosen, or Gaz has chosen this time,
Apologies.
is Chemical Wedding, or Crowley if you live in the US, written by none other than friend of the show, Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, which is metal as shit.
Well, it's not the only reason I chose it. I'd always wanted to, because I'd always heard he'd written a film and a couple of novels that you never really hear about. But then when I heard it was about Crowley, I thought, oh yeah, well, Ben will
He's a
want to
friend
see
of the show.
Yeah, he is a friend of the show, so I thought it's a pretty perfect choice for us, really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I very nearly brought my Crowley books to display on the side.
Your magic tomes.
My magic tomes.
Well, we've just watched an American dude review the film, and he was a bit bewildered by it, didn't he? And said it was very complex and hard to understand, which it was, but...
Because we have an understanding of Crowley.
And I was going to say, who's the guy, Parsons?
Jack Parsons.
Jack Parsons.
There was loads of reference and talk about him at the start of the film, and if we hadn't done that show and that research
That's true.
on him, we'd have been sat there going, what? So it was quite dense in conspiracy lore.
You had to know about a little bit about the occult and the
Yeah.
personalities of the scene.
Freemason.
And they mentioned L. Ron Hubbard too. Let's not forget that he was,
And they were
probably Crowley's best student he never had.
Yeah. So
But we'll get into that.
We will be doing a deep dive on Crowley again. We did it really back in the day. I think it was episode 6.
Well, we did it part of Satanism, but he isn't actually a Satanist, is he?
No, it shows how far we've come.
Yeah.
yeah, we've improved. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it.
We were ignorant.
We did do a
fucks
Crowley.
back then.
We did. It was episode 6.6.6.
But didn't we talk about him fairly recently? What
Yeah,
were we-
because Jack Parsons.
Jack Parsons,
Yeah.
that was it. I was going to say, I do remember shit eating and things.
What did we call the episode?
It was
From
the father of rocketry, I believe.
The occult father.
The cult father of rocketry.
Yeah.
But I've got Liber 4, there were 4 Libers to read. And also I bought basically the Idiot's Guide to Thalamic Magic.
Fair play. Is it Thalamic Magic for Dummies?
Yes, exactly what it
big
is. It's
yellow
that book. It's not that, but it is.
Okay.
So I need to read that as well because things will make more sense. Because Crowley is not the best writer in the world. Liber 4 apparently is very easy to understand.
Yeah, because didn't we discuss how no one would buy his mega expensive poetry
That's right.
book?
Leather bound and printed on the finest paper.
No
Handmade
one bought.
paper that no one
Well, it
bought.
doesn't matter how good it looks, is it, if it's full of shit?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. Yeah, and the fact that he wasn't a very good writer or poet.
It's not like something that's written properly, like, say, the Bible.
Oh, well. That's a discussion for a different time. That is.
Proper page turner, that is.
What was the last time you sat down and read it?
I dip in and out.
Oh, so it's not a page turner. You're dipping it out.
I dip in and out. Yes.
The last book you read of the Bible, guys?
Oh, I actually read
Rasputin?
read a little bit of the Bible the other day, actually.
Oh,
because
what book was it?
there's part of I'll go into this properly in our next episode, but Donald Trump was shot at 6/11. If you go to 6/11, I can't remember which John or whatever, something 6/11, it says something about the armour of God being around you.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Yes, but there's lots of 6/11s in the Bible.
This specific one.
That's
Anyway, like I say, I dabble, Ben. I'm not an expert. I'm not a theologian. I don't go to Bible study, but
Well, I think you should.
so do I. But I know the story of Little John and Robin Hood. No,
That's
right,
David and Goliath.
that's him.
You didn't know that Goliath lost last time.
I did know the. Look, I don't know where this came from. I said it's like David and Goliath, and you're like, yeah, Goliath lost. I'm like, yeah, I know, but this is still like a little bloke fighting a big bloke.
I think it was something to do with, was it Switzerland, England?
I know he won because he catapulted him in the fucking head, didn't he?
Slingshotted him, yes.
Cheated. He used a foreign object. Well, the referee was down.
I don't think there's a referee in this.
So, did he win?
Well, he didn't come out just smashing glass and
Did he win?
beat his wife after, who knows.
He used a weapon.
Well,
Without the weapon, what would Goliath done?
Well,
Crushed his spine.
he might have, yeah.
Yes.
It's not Andre the Giant. You do realise that?
He was even bigger one. Didn't he
was.
only have one eye?
No, that's a Cyclops. Yeah.
Wasn't there a wrestler called Goliath?
There was. He fought the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Well,
no.
you're thinking of the Giant
I'm thinking of
Gonzalez.
Giant Gonzalez.
That's
Who wore, because his body was so shit, they made him wear an all-in-one bodysuit.
What was that
And
about?
hairy shoulders.
Yeah.
Hairy ass crack.
It's the shittest costume I've ever
He did have an hairy ass crack, didn't he?
He couldn't move. He was so big. He couldn't move.
Wasn't he a basketball player?
He was like, and he was shit at that as well. He was like legitimately 7'7".
Yeah.
Like he was useless. He wasn't athletic.
Because I always remember Undertaker getting injured, coming back in, as if to say, I'm not fucking losing to this cunt at WrestleMania. I'll fight with a concussion.
Oh man.
Anyway, we need to thank some new returning listeners. We went down a path already, wow. Right, where should I start on the list? Abu Dhabi.
Shut up.
Yeah. And listening in Abu Dhabi this week in Qatar. Am I right in that?
You know where the worst of the fighting is?
No, Abu Dhabi's the posh place where the millionaires live in it.
Yeah. Qatar, yeah.
Dubai, you know.
Dubai, even. Glencoe in Canada, Ashburn in America, Gießen in Germany, Kent in the US, Sanson in the US, Brussels, Belgium, Rheinfelden in Germany, Whitstable in the Whitstable, is it Whitstable?
Yeah, I believe it's Whitstable.
In the UK, Albuquerque in the US, Guadalajara in Spain, Fort Worth in the US, Springfield in the US, and Preenville in the US. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. YouTube is Apocalypse Bull, and SoundCloud and Spotify and all your other podcasting platforms. It's Cutting to the Bull in the PTA. Now let's talk about some goddamn Crowley.
The Great Beast.
Little Sunshine.
Dirty shit-eating cunt.
So Chemical Wedding, released in the US as Crowley, is a 2008 British science fantasy horror film produced by Bill and Ben Productions in conjunction with the London-based Focus Films. It's directed by Julian Doyle, who's done some Monty Python stuff before.
Yeah.
And it's based on an original screenplay by Bruce Dickinson.
Well, I don't think he was a director, was he?
No, he was a producer.
Because he's not a very good director, is he?
No.
Bless him.
Yeah, we'll get into that. He was amateurish at times.
Yes.
It's very complicated filmmaking, you know, gentlemen.
I gather it is.
People don't really like lighting, cameras. It's science.
Yeah.
There's like a real...
Yeah,
He
don't
fucked it
disagree.
up, didn't he? Really? Let's
really
face it.
hard to do.
Even the editing was choppy as
Yeah.
hell. And
Yeah.
It's not easy, especially on a budget.
But it has a 4.7 on IMDb, which
that's
I think
harsh.
is a little harsh. And it stars Simon Callow as Professor Haddo or Alistair Crowley, Kai Weber as Joshua Mathers, which is... A lot of the names used in this are actually people from Crowley's life. So Lucy Cudden, Leah Robinson, Judd Charlton as Victor Neuberg, who was obviously... You remember him as a computer tech.
Yeah.
That was Crowley's like familiar when he was most at his peak.
Wasn't
of power.
O.J. Simpson's character in the...
No, Neudberg.
Neudberg.
No.
When you say familiar, do you mean fuck toy?
Actually, Crowley used to do the bottoming
boy.
a lot because it's a power thing. So the familiar bums you with the greatest. The greater the degradation, the greater the power.
So he was
for
more
Crowley.
more the bummy than the bummer.
Yes. Apparently, Neuberg missing his ejaculate cue caused the First World War.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
They're such
I learned that
fantasists, aren't they?
Year 7 history,
The
actually.
fucking arrogance of them. Because you came late, boy, this war
I
has
know.
started. I'm a magician.
Didn't you get taught that in Year 7 history?
Well, you probably did, Mike, at your posh school. You probably tried to reenact the Paris working.
It was weird. 'cause,
Paris
like,
working.
My
even-
history teacher just spent all his time drinking cum out the fax machine.
Oh yeah, listener, in this movie, cum being transmitted by fax is a thing.
Yep.
If you're Crowley, you can do that.
It was a thing that apparently Bruce Dickinson was quite proud of. So it makes sense that apparently he wrote this after he left Maiden.
Interesting.
So he'd had time on his hands,
Yeah.
sitting around thinking of all this mad shit, reading loads of Crowley books.
It's weird because Crowley's been quite popular amongst musicians in the past.
I'd say, yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Who was a guitarist from Led Zeppelin?
Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page. He bought Crowley's old estate on the shores of Loch Ness.
He did.
Bullskin.
Oh, yeah, I remember you
And
saying
you remember the album, I don't know if it was the album cover or not, it was a prominent theme in Led Zeppelin iconography, the Zozo.
Yeah.
Z-O-S. That's his thelemic. That's Jimmy Page's personal symbol, magical symbol.
Given to him by the...
Well, they had some dude in who taught them thelemic magic.
And of course, Ozzy.
Ozzy, of course, Mr. Crowley. Mr. Crowley!
It's a bit confusing because Bruce Dickinson has a song called Chemical Wedding, which is about William Blake.
Interesting.
It's nothing to do with Crowley.
Well, so the plot of this film, and we'll in this scenario, listener, Wikipedia is our friend, because if I'd have attempted to write down what happened in this film, I'd have probably just confused myself.
Yeah, I still don't know really what happened.
I was fairly intoxicated as well. I think we all were.
Yeah.
And we're recording this a week later, so...
It definitely lost me towards the end. I was
Yes.
still interested. I was trying to follow along, but I'd missed... I think I'd have to watch this in dead silence and follow every single word of the script.
Exactly, yeah, I'm with you on that.
And even then, with the sort of poor lighting, poor audio, and
editing.
it makes it difficult to follow.
It's just like our podcast.
Our podcast was a film.
It's like, you know, that scene, I know I'm jumping ahead slightly, sorry, but you know the scene where the guy with their...
Oh,
what are they called? That imagine listening, you've had throat cancer and you have to
voice
use
box.
one of those. Yeah, that's it, voice box. A very long scene where this man has a very long monologue in that voice, and the camera just sits there, doesn't move, and just it goes on and on, and like someone like an accomplished director or someone with a bit more money and experience would have liked to at least move the camera while that speech showed it from various angles, faces of the people he's speaking to, you know, to be artsy fartsy and film like, you know, reflection. Something visual happening.
Or maybe not do it
So
because
like,
it was so difficult to understand what the fuck he was saying.
well, that's the other thing. It shouldn't have been that
What?
character. But the point of
I
just
know he wanted to show that character as being crippled some way because of events that happened in the past, which we'll get into.
he could have just been in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he didn't need
Yeah.
it.
It's just the fact that the camera just showed that he's got no like flair.
No.
It
flair
just sat there. But that could also be budget. Because every time you move the camera, you've got to move the lights and match everything.
Yeah,
and
true,
I don't think
true.
they had the competence.
Or the money.
Or the money, that's the thing. Or time even. Because some lack of money also means lack of time. And you have to just get things done and just accept.
Yeah.
That shot wasn't perfect, but fuck it, we can't.
And most of your budget is probably being taken up by Simon Callow.
Probably, yeah, that would have been a
Okay,
big chunk.
he's a good solid fucking 9 in this movie for me. His performance.
He's the only one that comes out of any credit.
Because I believe, I'll just have a quick Google, but I believe around this time he was coming off some pretty, wasn't it Shakespeare in Love or something?
He'd been in Shakespeare in Love, definitely.
He'd had
It
a
was a
few...
bit of a flop, was it? I've never
No,
seen
I mean,
it.
I think he was quite, his...
Oh no, that was quite a big hit.
His stock was quite high, is what I'm trying to say around this time.
I see. It was quite a bit of a coup to get him, really, because he's
Yeah.
a brilliant actor.
Who doesn't turn down the chance to play Mr. Crowley?
Yeah,
He
must,
may have taken a massive pay cut, you don't know.
he must
These
have had
guys-
an interest. But sometimes people do. If
They
you-
love to
Yeah.
do independent movies, don't they?
Yeah.
Simon?
Plus, if you've got a personal interest, I've always fancied playing Crowley. He's a fucking that's
Well,
the
they're-
ultimate evil bag because they love being able to go because he goes full
Oh, yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
going to do acting.
Yes, he does. It's fun. But that's like, and it's like anyone gets a chance to play the devil.
Yeah.
Would you ever turn if
That'd
you're
be
an
ace.
actor, an actor? Would you ever turn
Well, it's
down the
also-
chance to play Satan?
Ultimate bad guy, innit? And they love playing bad guys.
Yeah.
Because you don't get a chance to do that in
I
real
always
life.
regret Alan Rickman not playing Satan. I'd have loved to have seen that.
Nice.
Full on evil Alan Rickman. Alan
He
Rickman.
does play an angel, doesn't he?
He does
Oh,
play an
Dogma.
angel
Yeah.
in Dogma.
Love that film.
My God, he'd have been fantastic as Satan. But you've still got Pacino, De Niro. I think Pacino's performance is better than De Niro's.
That's a better film, isn't
It's
it?
a better film, absolutely.
Not a bad film.
No, not at all.
What's it called? Oh,
Angel Heart,
Angel Heart.
where he's Lou Cypher.
Yeah, and he peels an egg with his long fingernails.
Yeah. It's no Al Pacino in Devil's Advocate, though, is he? Hoo-haring everywhere.
Oh,
Hoo-ha!
it's fantastic, yeah.
She had a great ass.
Yeah. Do you like that film? We'll have to do that one day. But anyway, the plot of this film...
Yes,
starts...
sorry, so just before this, maybe 8-9 years before this, he comes off a run of like Shakespeare in Love, Notting Hill, Around the World in 80 Days, kids films, Christmas carols. So this was a get.
Yeah.
For the film.
In 1947, or so the plot. 1947, Roswell year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trinity College students theologian Simmons and scientist Alex visit the elderly Alistair Crowley. He discusses the possibility of resurrecting from the dead with the help of sex magic rituals. There's also a thing that I think it's Simmons is the one who's like sort of, he's being tutored by Crowley. That probably didn't involve bumming at this point.
No, he didn't seem bummed.
He was past it at this point. He had this thing in his 60s when he realised that he couldn't get an erection anymore.
Oh dear.
And he's like, okay, I'm done. Sex magic's over. But he did sell his cum as a rejuvenation potion. So he could presumably still masturbate.
Well, how the fuck does the cum of a useless dick gonna rejuvenate you?
Because he's Alistair fucking Crowley. He's the
Can't
great
get it up
beast.
no more, this ain't gonna help
They
me.
don't know that. Point out, I think his last partner before this was a 19-year-old German redhead who was trying to find his Scarlet Woman.
He would have loved it with Viagra, wouldn't he? Jesus.
Oh, he'd never stopped. He'd still be alive now. Pumping away.
He'd just be putting, those Blue Chew tablets. He'd just putting 400 of them in a blender with a little bit of milk. That's my morning pick-me-up. Literally.
I ditched ether, which I used to drink. A cup and a half of ether every day to get going in the morning.
Ether?
Yeah.
Isn't that the mysterious thing?
No,
Ethanol.
Ether, yes. Is it pronounced ether? It's like it is a chemical of some.
I think it's like ethanol.
It's a medicinal chemical.
Yeah.
I always thought
Isn't
ether,
it like...
was sort of like...
No, ETHER rather than AETHER. Ether is the
I know what Mike said about it.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Ether,
yeah. Well, they're presumably giving him money because Crowley's desperate for money at all times, especially at this point in his life. He needs his fix, he needs his heroin. And he's like, no, don't worry, I've got an airmail for you. Right. And he thinks from Jack Parsons, who has been sending Crowley money. Obviously, check out our Jack Parsons episode. He also learns that these Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard, of Scientology fame, are going to do the Moonchild ritual.
Explain that.
Moonchild.
The Moonchild ritual is to do with summoning the whore of Babylon, the Scarlet Woman, the representation of Isis, who will, red hair, green eyes, who will give birth to not the Antichrist, but certainly the child who will bring about the age of Horus.
Which means?
With mankind enters a new magical phase, and the Thelemic way of life becomes the way of life. The do as thou wilt.
Right. It'd be like a reverse Lord of the Rings where the magic disappeared from the world.
It's coming back in.
Here's the lyrics to Moonchild by Iron Maiden.
Ooh, go on.
I am he, the bornless one, the fallen angel watching you. Babylon, the scarlet whore, I'll infiltrate your gratitude. Don't you dare to save your son, kill him now and save the young ones. By the mother of a birth strangled babe, be the devil's own. Lucifer's my name. Moonchild. Hear the mandrakes scream, oh Moonchild, open the seventh seal. And so on and so forth. It's raising of a...
It's the raising. It's not the Antichrist. Like I said, it's the giving birth to the age of Horus, and we all live under Thelemic ritual and law, and everything's better apparently.
The Eye of Horus.
But he never succeeded in doing it, did he?
No, and he never attempted it because it requires immense discipline and self-focus, which are two qualities Crowley did not have.
Yeah, he's too busy writing shit poems.
And Jack Parsons couldn't do it.
Jack Parsons gave it his best go, and he did summon Marjorie. What's his name? Marjorie. I can't remember her last name.
The shit upon the plate, the shit I ate.
Yes, Alistair Crowley did eat shit in the Thelemic Abbey of Thelema in Sicily.
Burns.
But how bad do you have to be to get thrown out of fascist Italy? Come on! How rampant do you have to be?
Yeah, but don't romanticise it. Like, he could have just been thrown out for being like, he's just fucking horror. He's eating shit and cum. Just fuck off. We're fascists, but we're not gross. We do not eat.
It was literally.
We ripe. What's it called? Oh, I can't speak.
That's not good. It's the podcast.
We eat vine-ripe tomatoes. We're Italians. We don't eat plates of shit and old man cum. Get out! You beast!
Actually, it's Scarlet Woman's shit that he ate.
Just because we believe in,
Well, I have
fascist architecture.
I'd eat.
I would not eat any woman's shit. Oh my god.
Mike bought Belle Delphine's piss.
Alright. The only woman's shit I would possibly eat, just out of respect for her, is she asked
Queen
me to.
Elizabeth.
Close.
Camilla.
Lady Diana. The people's princess.
Gareth Vincent, you say that you would not have eaten Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's own royal turd for your country.
Yeah, if there was some weird scenario for some fucked up reason, some supervillains like, unless Gareth Vincent from Telford, yes, him, the van driver, unless he eats the shit of this queen, I'll kill you all. Well, I've got to fucking eat it now. Oh, cameras, nice, yeah, brilliant. I'm on the news. Oh, well, I've got to. Oh, brilliant, yeah. Oh, you can all watch, yeah. Well, God, I better get laid for this. But no one's going to want to kiss me, are they? Oh, you saved the world. Oh, no, on the cheek. Oh, fuck's sake.
Well, presumably you've cleaned your teeth after.
I despise it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're still not going to want it. Look, if the whole world's watched me, the biggest global audience in the world tunes in to watch a van driver eat some shit to save the world, then Ben, yes, I'd eat the shit, is what I'm saying. In that specific, highly unlikely scenario.
You'd eat Princess Diana's, but not
I'd
Queen
eat hers
Elizabeth's.
out of just respect. I'll clean that up for you. Nom, 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 nom.
Well, the problem is, back to the film. The problem is at this point, Jack Parsons stopped sending Crowley money,
Right.
which isn't good
Oh yeah,
for
where's
him.
the money?
There's no money in it for
The
him.
envelope's empty.
And Crowley curses those who steal his time, splits blood at the scientist Alex and dies. And Simmons steal his watch.
It wasn't Simmons, was it? He stole his watch. Was it Alex?
Alex stole his watch.
Yeah. And gave it to Simmons, didn't he?
Gave it to Simmons, stealing Crowley's time.
Ah, yes, symbolic.
And that's how he got cursed and put in the wheelchair.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. The film takes place 50 years later on the grounds of Trinity College, Cambridge, during Christmas. The
During
narrator.
Christmas? Did you see one
No.
Christmas
Nope.
light
I did
on
not.
a tree?
No.
Did they watch the same film or what? It's his Wikipedia, isn't it?
It is Wikipedia. It was the best synopsis I could find. I went through
But I
15
think my point is
earlier.
more, the script probably said it was Christmas, but they couldn't afford tinsel or
Yeah.
fucking, couldn't even get a Christmas jumper for the cast.
Actually, I'm guessing that that's symbolic because he'd be aiming to conceive the child around the
birth of
25th,
Christ.
something like that. I'm guessing there's some symbology in there that way.
This could be one of your new favourite Christmas films, Ben.
You know what, Mike? It already is. It's Die Hard, then this, and then Zulu.
Don't you like Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
No.
Oh, I love that film. Watch it every year.
Really?
Shitter's Fall. No?
It's classic, yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
love it.
I tried getting him into the mates.
No.
He watched
I watched-
Elf, he hated, didn't he?
Oh,
Yeah, and I like Will Ferrell, but Elf is just shit.
In fact, the only one you liked was Scrooged.
Yeah, Bill Murray. Yeah.
Brilliant film. Brilliant film.
Now I've got Chemical Wedding.
It's got to be another Christmas film, maybe. Leave it with me. That's something we can do for the pod round Christmas time. Let's
Watch Zulu?
force a few proper Christmas films.
Wonderful
on you.
Life.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know what he's going to think of that.
He's gonna hate That's what I want to pick.
Schmaltzy crap.
who knows? It might reignite something in my burnt-out soul.
Well, now you're, in the world of politics and that, you might find yourself playing Santa at some sort of do.
What? Because I'm a fat guy.
No, just
you
because
mean
you're the
fattest
guy.
gas?
No, just because you're the guy. Can't you see the mayor doing Santa?
Not my mayor.
That's the sort of thing that you're going to end up doing.
No.
Handing out sweets, and then, something inside you might go, oh, it's nice this Christmas thing, isn't it? Christmas spirit.
No.
A little angel winks at you from the top of the tree. It's all magic.
No.
Okay, back to the Crowley film.
Moonchild rituals at Christmas.
Sacrificing a partridge.
So the narrator to the film is Simmons, who became a university lecturer and the head of the local Masonic lodge. And Alex is a physicist who was paralysed to a wheelchair for his being cursed. For a scientific project related to the connection of a person with virtual reality using the University British Supercomputers, which is fictional, Z93.
Oh, that's really
you don't say.
To put that in.
Yeah. Dr. Mathers arrives from Caltech at Trinity College with a virtual reality spacesuit.
Yeah, this is
where the film goes.
Yeah. What was, because Bruce is not even into weed, so I don't know what
I don't know what he was thinking at this
I don't
point.
know what rituals he was doing to come up with this mad shit.
It's a bit mad. This
It's
is
a
mad.
virtual reality spacesuit.
I'd just rather Crowley's spirit just possessed the guy and had done with it.
The virtual reality spacesuit, also it allowed them to go back in time, didn't it, and things. And
Yeah.
or were they just, or was that not real? Was it virtual reality? I don't.
It gets all very
fucking
confusing.
know.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
From what I can gather, Victor Neuberg, who was obviously Alistair's, must be a reincarnation of Alistair Crowley's former familiar. I'm assuming, maybe this is what Bruce was hinting at, basically programs Crowley's personality at his peak into the spacesuit,
Right.
which then somehow possesses
Professor
Professor Haddo.
Who we'll get onto in a minute.
There's also a secret Crowley worshipper.
Yeah.
The journalist Leah Robertson arranges an interview with Dr. Mathers. Ironically, Mathers, I can't remember his first name off the top of my head, was the guy that brought Crowley into the Golden Dawn, which is his first secret society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Mathers was Crowley's sponsor into that.
This matters.
No, not this Mathers.
No. Just a coincidence, isn't it?
He's chosen the name because there was a Mathers in
Yeah.
Crowley's history. Same as he's chosen Victor Neuberg.
That doesn't
It's
really
like-
help things, does it, with the confusing
But
stuff?
it's like Bruce giving like little Easter eggs, isn't it? To
Yeah,
like,
basically, it's
if
an
you're,
Easter egg.
if you're
yeah.
someone that's into Crowley, you'll recognise
Yeah.
that name and see what I've done.
Okay.
Yeah. And same as Victor Neuberg being the familiar, being the
Because
guy
these
that
names mean
programs him.
nothing to me, but because you've been reading it, you're recognising. Oh, that was the name of the guy. Who,
Yeah, that's the name of the computer programmer.
An Easter egg.
Another Easter egg, yeah.
So, the journalist is...
The Scarlet Woman,
Yeah.
effectively. Red-haired, student,
Fit.
She's-
attractive.
It's like a student paper, isn't it? She works
She's
for.
called Leia, which is kind of the modern equivalent of Lilith.
Is it?
Kind of, innit? It's close. So Alistair Crowley's son Victor, who works as a programmer on the project, conspires with literature professor Haddo to place Alistair Crowley's binary code, the locations and contents of all rituals in Z93, in the form of a virus.
That wasn't very clear, was it?
No. Before the first official tests, Victor takes Haddo to the laboratory and he puts on the spacesuit. And the next day, Alistair Crowley appears in Professor Haddo's body.
Now, Professor Haddo, he's quite timid and mild. He's got a speech impediment.
He's got a stutter.
And he just transforms into a completely different person.
It's magnificent. It's glorious.
It's
Shaves his head.
wonderful acting.
Yeah.
It's on a par with Christopher Reeve going from a bumbling, crouched over to completely different body language.
Was that Superman 3?
All of them?
All of them.
Oh,
He's
no.
always, if you think about it, when he's
Which one's the one where he loses his powers?
when he fights an evil version of himself.
Yeah.
That's 3, I think.
That's 3,
When
yeah.
he gets pissed in the bar.
That's right.
I like that one. He starts flicking peanuts to smash the
Yeah.
glass.
I don't think I've seen that one
Oh,
either.
it's brilliant. He's got like 5 o'clock shadow, and he's
I
like,
remember 1 and 2.
and then he goes to junkyard, and like the evil part of him splits off, and there's like
Ah, no,
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
and they fight.
Well, I have, and it was very
He
young.
throws a lot of tyres over his evil self and just blasts them apart.
But what I started to point is when he's Clark, he's completely different. He hunches over so he's not 6 foot odd, and he's fumbling and it's acting, dear boy. It's what they used to do.
It's acting.
They used to do acting. You know.
Yeah, he's fantastic in this, Simon Carr.
He's awesome.
Oh, he's the best part of this film.
It up, he's like,
He's the Joker of this movie.
Yeah.
You know, Heath Ledger's Joker. The Dark Knight would be a terrible movie if it didn't have Heath Ledger in it.
It wouldn't be terrible.
Well, it would be
I know
terrible.
what you're saying.
But he made that film,
Yeah.
and Simon Keller makes this film
Oh,
for me.
yeah, you just want the camera.
You know what, though, I have a somewhat controversial opinion. My favourite Joker is still Jack Nicholson.
Oh, so mine too. Mine too, absolutely.
Whoop. Whoop.
This town needs an enema.
Why did I get a load of me? Oh, he's amazing. He's at home, washing his tights.
But also,
Love Heath Ledger though.
In respect to that, obviously, oh God, what's his fucking name? It's going in my head. The original Batman.
Like the 66.
No,
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Lewis Wilson's the original Batman.
Lads, you need to watch. Like 40s.
Yeah.
We need to watch.
The
I've
Flash.
seen it. You've got to see it, man. It's worth it just for the return of 89.
You said that.
Oh, it's so worth it. He's brilliant in it.
I bet he is. He's brilliant in every role. I like.
Looking forward to Beetlejuice 2 as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
good.
absolutely.
It's a good comic book film that Michael Keaton's in, and he plays sort of like an old sort of faded.
Oh, Birdman.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant film. All in one take.
Really good film.
Really?
Like the whole film's like in one, isn't it? One big take. Like the camera, it's really like. It's well worth watching. It's a bit more of a drama. It's not an action film.
Yeah.
It's like a psychological. It's a bit of a fucked up film, really.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's good. He won the Oscar for it, I think.
Oh, did he? Cool.
He's a great actor. I particularly enjoyed when Schwarzenegger and DeVito presented an award at the
That
Oscars.
was ace.
They slagged off Batman, and he was sat there in a cravat, just like an old Bruce Wayne
Just
would.
looking like Bruce Wayne.
Just looking like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But
He started off as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
He's
But
brilliant.
I enjoy a nerdy Bruce Wayne.
He
I
should
liked Affleck as the buff Bruce Wayne. You know, a great Bruce Wayne, but not Batman. Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
Jeff Goldblum as Bruce Wayne.
I can see it, but he's too Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
He
okay.
plays himself in everything, doesn't he?
Be weird, wouldn't it?
Be a great Bruce Wayne though.
Weird as Batman, though, wouldn't
Weird as Batman. Very If they did a remake of the 60s version.
So, you know, I'm Batman,
Then-
but I don't know. Should I catch him or should I not catch him? I don't know, like, maybe I'll play some jazz. Or,
If they did
just punch him, Batman!
if they did a 60s show remake, I'd want Jeff Goldblum in that.
He'd be the Joker, maybe.
Yeah, true.
Or the Riddler.
The Riddler.
The Riddler. Yeah, he would. Anyway, enough of Batman.
Sorry.
So the next day, Aleister Crowley appears in Professor Harrow's body, and he creates obscenities in lectures and among teachers, and promises the beginning of the Aeon of Horus in 3 days when he is fully incarnated. He goes into a lecture on Hamlet, recites
Best scene in the film.
Yeah.
a Crowley poem, which I apologise I could not find. I did look.
I thought he was quoting Hamlet, and he says, instead of to be or not to be, he says to pee or not to pee.
And he says, come a lot.
Yeah.
He says, come a lot.
Come, fuck, come.
And then he pisses over the front 2 rows.
He whips his cock out and starts pissing on people.
And then when the professors call him in to take account of his acts, he said, that'll be the only lecture those students remember in the next 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I read a Garden review that said, Bruce Dickinson thinks this is really controversial and shocking, but it's actually just childish. And I was like, well, all 3 of us thought it was fucking brilliant, so I guess we're childish.
Yeah.
But that's what the character, the over-the-top Crowley is portraying.
It's the comic book version of
Yes.
Crowley. He's treating it as if everything was true, if all the magic powers were true, this is what he would be.
Yeah.
Isn't it? The ultimate villain.
Yeah, totally. The Great Beast 666,
Yeah.
Megatherion, Father Perdorado,
What a pop.
Freighter Perdorado, yeah, Little Sunshine,
All these names
Mega
given
Peter
to him
what?
by
Megatherion.
Megaperion.
A mega pedo.
He fucking probably was.
No, never any record of that. Never any record of that.
He's not going to write that bit down, is he?
No one who ever was with him who all wrote extensively about him.
No, he just let him starve to death in a fucking corner instead.
Well, he wasn't his will to look after them, guys. It was the mother's
It
will.
should have been someone's.
It was the mother's will.
He had her tied up, covered in shit with his cock up her ass.
No, because everyone has to do stuff. To look after the Thalamic Abbey in Sicily. Yes, there was a child who died because of neglect. I think it was Crowley's own child, which says a lot.
It's no big deal. It's just a bit of neglect.
But she was quite sickly.
Well,
probably because no one had any immune system in that place. It was just
that's because I forgot to mention.
drugs and fucking.
While she was tied up, covered in shit with his cock up her arse, she was also been pumped up full of fucking heroin.
There may have been a lot of heroin.
Lovely bloke. You keep reading his books, Ben. He's a lovely bloke to.
Oh no, he's a very controversial figure, and I don't agree with everything he said.
You say.
But
you don't say.
That's why I kind of like him.
You say.
That's why I kind of like him, because he's like the last person in Western history you can say he's a wizard.
You can all say we're wizards.
No, he lived the life, man.
That guy from Shinrikyo said he was a mountain wizard.
Yeah, but he was all anime
He could
based.
float and everything.
He didn't float when they hung him. That's the test, isn't it? When they hang you for the attempted murder of hundreds of thousands of
He
people.
went further than Crowley, though. He did actually kill,
Yeah, because Crowley was about the killing, remember, because it's the Thalamic
just
laws.
the bumming.
It's the Thalamic laws, isn't it?
The poo and cum.
Do us that well to remember that love is the law.
Right.
So don't kill people.
He's got a different idea of love than me.
Well, everyone's got their own different thing of love, guys. We live in 2024, mate.
Oh, I can't believe he ate a plate of shit.
He did do that.
It just trumps everything else for me, that.
Now, no one believes that Haddo is Crowley except for Leah Robinson, who, like that movie review guy said, plays a lot of scenes in this movie, but never really does anything.
Yeah.
She's not a very good actress, is she?
No.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Oh,
Very
gorgeous.
pretty. She conducts an investigation in the library. In the meantime, Crowley forces Victor to participate in a sex ritual and makes him his follower.
Participate in a sex ritual, yeah.
He does kind of bum him.
What, wanking him off?
Or wanking him. Give him a reach around, which is good manners.
So first, he must be thinking, oh, lucky days here. Fucking naked, gorgeous, red-headed woman walks in.
Mm.
And then he proceeds to bum him and
Yeah.
wank him off. Which I would have been like, this is not what I signed up for.
But he's clearly the reincarnation of Victor Neuberg.
I can't stop thinking about fucking Naked Gun every time you say that. It's a really weird image in my head of O.J. Simpson.
When we do a Naked Gun movie, when we do a Naked Gun movie special, that's gonna throw us all.
Oh dear.
Mathers and Victor conduct an experiment by placing Professor Brent in a virtual reality spacesuit. He finds himself in a virtual reality where he meets Crowley and suffers a heart attack and his brain stops responding to the outside world.
Yeah, because Crowley's head opens up and this big, long tentacle thing smashes into his skull.
It's an issue. It's definitely an issue for him.
Fuck knows what that was all about.
No, I don't know.
And that gives him a heart attack and he dies.
Yep.
His brain, well, does he die? His brain certainly stops responding.
His brain's, yeah. And Leia and Mathers, with the help of Sibbons, trying to prove to the Dean that Haddo was in a spacesuit before Brent and was programmed by Victor. And this is where it all gets a bit confusing, in all fairness.
Christ.
No, he's not in this movie at all. Meanwhile, Crowley is looking for a red-headed girl to the final ritual, Chemical Wedding, which is supposed to stabilise Crowley's power in this world, and killing several people on the way, including Leia's roommate,
And a prostitute.
Leia follows him, and Crowley and Victor catch her right at the site of the future ritual. Also, that purple suit that Crowley's wearing fucking slaps.
Yes, he looks very cool. He looks like a Batman villain.
He certainly does. I wonder if I could get away with a purple suit.
Oh Lord.
Interesting. So at this time, Alex explains to Mathers that he bought something from Caltech that was an elemental, the result of a ritual performed in 1947 by Parsons and Hubbard. In order to find Leia, Mathers and Simmons interrogate Brent under hypnosis but receive only a few Masonic items. Masonic terms, another item some. To find out the location of the chemical wedding, Mathers enters the spacesuit himself. Simmons stays at the control panel, switching the disc with the recording of Brent's journey, ready to turn on the, quote, spaceflight simulator that reverses time.
What the fuck?
If you're confused, listener, don't worry.
We were as well.
Jeez.
We really were too. Mathers discovers that Brent was entering a black hole that consumes space and time. Yeah, the whole, all the spacesuit stuff in this movie just took me out of it.
Yeah.
Just have him getting possessed by the spirit of Crowley due to the watch. Just do that.
I know.
Bruce has definitely got a thing for his new comic book series that he's written is very similar mixing of science experiments with ritual. He's mad for that. Well, he's written 2 things about it.
Yeah.
So, which I suppose
he's
is a
into
cool
alchemy, isn't he?
Yeah, it is a cool thing to mix, but it just it wasn't made clear what was happening at all.
No.
To me.
Possibly go the poor direction.
I like the idea of trying to take rituals into a laboratory setting and like, you know, I like the mixing of that. It's like juxtaposed, isn't it?
Mm.
But it just didn't come across in the film very well. What the fuck was going on?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
I would have to watch it a second time. But I'm reading the description now and I'm fucking lost.
I don't know who Brent was.
No, I can't fuck it now.
Rack me brain. I don't think.
See, the
Brent.
guy who worked in the laboratory.
No, that was Victor Neuber, the computer program.
Oh, yeah,
That was Victor.
Oh, is he the bloke she meets who ends up being the moon child?
Oh, was it?
I thought that was Mathers.
Mathers, yeah.
I don't even know who Brent is.
Is it Brent Mathers?
Oh, could be. Couldn't it? Yeah, this fucking
Believe it or not-
Wikipedia article isn't helping things. I thought it was meant to.
It's the best one I found.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it?
There are no in-depth synopsises of this film.
Because no one knows
online.
what the fuck it was about.
I went through about 25 fucking synopses of this film, and this was the best one.
Mad, isn't it?
Well, alright then, so he's entered a black hole that consumes space and time.
Yeah, absolutely. So Crowley and Victor perform a ritual using Leia's blood as well, but in the process Mathers appears near Crowley. He is separated by an invisible barrier from the Crowley scene, but somehow he breaks it and knocks a syringe containing Leia's blood out of Crowley's hands and fights it. Fights Crowley, I'm presuming. Simmons, seeing the spacesuit with Mathers has disappeared, turns on the flight simulator, and time flows backwards. The suit returns to its place, but Simmons discovers Haddo inside. Everything went back in time on the day of the illegal experiment with Haddo, so we get a time reset.
Mm. And yeah, because then there's something with like who was the one? Al Gore's president. It says.
That's right. We end up in an alternate timeline. It's like the Marvel universe, I guess.
Mm.
Simmons finds out that no one remembers anything about the last 3 days. Alex explains to him that somewhere there is a parallel world where Crowley incarnated in this world is worse than ours. Or would it be?
Certainly more entertaining.
Exactly. Alex only has 2 questions. Who killed Leia's neighbour Rosa in the current reality, which obviously was Crowley in this one, and why Mathers was able to pass through the barrier. And the camera shows a lying newspaper, well, where it's written that Al Gore won the US election. Well, it's not a lying newspaper. It's
All newspapers are lying.
Well, that's true. Scientists continue the experiment, and Victor cannot set the date on the spacesuit because it is set 3 days later. Mathers tells him the password to the spacesuit, which is date of birth, which coincides with the date of Crowley's death. The computer, in response to the password, gives the inscription Moonchild.
Wow.
So it's fair to say that Mathers, the US guy, even though his date of birth completely looks out of time, was possibly the child of Jack Parsons in the Moonchild ritual.
Right.
And that's how he's able to bring Crowley back in some way.
So the virtual reality machine and the black hole somehow reset time, killed Crowley.
Yes.
And Al Gore's president now.
Al Gore is president, he won Florida. Now, the final bit of the film is at Haddo's lecture, Dr. Simmons and Alex discover that Crowley's watch, which Simmons was carrying with him, has disappeared. So does that mean is that like a bit of a Flash Gordon fake finish where it's like the end ?
Well, imagine if it was successful. It may have got a sequel.
Yeah, and it could have come returned.
But yeah, bit of a mess of a film.
But
Some really entertaining moments, especially when Callow is Crowley.
Yeah, he was
That's
awesome.
the best bit.
I thought there was some good dialogue, some good...
I don't think it was badly written
No.
in terms of dialogue. The plot, obviously, but that could be brought to life by the director as well. Remember, the plot is set in stone on the page.
And the actors as well were
I
great.
think
weren't they?
I have no idea. I'm basing this on pure guesswork, but I'm guessing if you're this guy who directed it, and the fucking lead singer of Iron fucking Maiden comes to you and is like, you know, I want to make a film, and it's some mad idea, you're probably going to be a bit like, oh, this is... Do you know what I mean?
This is your little indie film, isn't it?
It could have probably done with another go at the script, is what I'm saying. Maybe another draft, another bit tidying up a bit towards the end. But he's probably a bit in awe of it, and a bit in awe of like, fucking hell, Bruce Dickinson.
He does have a cameo in this movie too, Bruce, as well. He's Crowley's housekeeper at the start of the film.
He's definitely, I'm just reading on here, so his new comic book, it's even got a character called Lear. And it's basically a war between science and mysticism over immortality.
Interesting.
Yeah. He obviously gets a kick out of the mixing of the sci-fi and the occultism and the ritual and that, but it was. I'm glad I watched it. It was fun.
I think if you know stuff about Crowley and you get the Easter eggs, you'll get more out of this film.
Yeah, because we watched that review. That American guy, he was fucking bewildered, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
I don't think he really got. But it's because we've done so much on, like, we've done Jack Parsons and Crowley and Hubbard and all that, so we picked up on all those little...
Yeah.
So we probably got more out of it. And I would certainly give it a solid 6.
I'd agree with that.
And the only reason I'm not giving it higher is because the plot is a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Definitely lost me towards it. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Deserves a 6 from me. I'll give it a 5.8.
Fair enough.
Controversial.
Well, it's still a whole one higher than the IMDb rating, isn't it? 4.7.
Absolutely, totally. I think it was Simon Cowell steals this for me.
Yeah. It was
absolutely.
worth it for his performance, wasn't it?
God damn that purple suit.
I think they should have just done a biography of Crowley and had Callow play him and be in the film more and...
Just be that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been the best bet in hindsight, but never mind, it's an interesting film, something different.
And Crowley's an interesting character, let's face it.
Horror.com praised the film, calling it a mixed bag of tricks to be sure, but it's worth a look for the curio factor, and at least it's not a remake, a horror knockoff or torture porn.
Oh, that's the other thing, yeah. In the article that we wrote at the time in 2008, the horror scene was dominated by torture porn.
Yeah.
Gore and...
Saw.
You know, yeah.
And Hostel.
Yeah.
And this was more of a... What do you call, what type of horror more
Well, these are more like the Hammer horror kind of thing, which is Bruce
what he
was
said,
aiming for, wasn't he? The Hammer horror.
He's obviously obsessed with that as well, because remember his newest solo video is...
Oh, God, yeah.
So he's obviously, you know, those are his influences. He likes what he likes.
Yeah, and why the hell not? You got the Wicker Man in here, you got Can I Play With Madness on the soundtrack.
And you got George Formby's Fan Like Fanny.
I think that is the song that's playing when Crowley first gets a purple suit and he's strutting down the street.
Fan Like Fanny. Did I read in
works.
that article that the director of the Can I Play With Madness video is the director of this film?
Oh, in that case then.
I'm sure I read that. That's how Bruce knew him.
Wow.
He was sort of the only director he knew, so... And if you're only used to making like 3-minute music videos, it's like I said, filmmaking is fucking. I did it. I studied film. I don't know. I sound like a wanker when you say that. I did film at.
I studied film at university.
I studied film at uni, but you know, fucking filmmaking is technically fucking complex as fuck.
I did script writing at uni, and I know how difficult that is.
Really hard, just setting up shots and like matching the light and getting everything and making sure you've got enough coverage. They call it. So that when you go to edit it, you've got choices and you're not stuck with a shit edit.
Yeah.
Whereas they obviously didn't have a lot of money, a lot of time.
Yeah, true.
Where it just had to... it was edited a bit weird.
And let's face it, Bruce, even being a millionaire, He's not the kind of guy that can finance a film and not see a massive hit.
You don't just like go, here's £2 million of my own money that I'll never see again.
Yeah. You don't do that.
No, you have to raise it independent. And apparently it's a bit of a rule, not a rule, but there's a thing in Hollywood where they say anytime somebody invests their own money into like a vanity project, they call it, because if nobody else is willing to fund it, you're having to fund it yourself, then is it good? And you know, they always end in disaster, like, and ruin.
True.
And selling your house and all that sort of thing. So yeah, but no, I enjoyed it. Fair play to him. You know, he just left Maiden. He needed something to do, so he wrote a fucking mental movie script.
And then he came back to Maiden and made everything great again.
Yeah.
Should I point out that I never went to university, guys?
Well, the University of Life.
I was a working class hero. I am a working class hero.
I'm still working class,
still working class.
You're not working class.
I dropped out.
You dropped out and became a working class hero. Mike's a non-working class hero.
Subhuman class.
Well, if we had a Tory government, Mike, that would probably be the case. But we haven't got one anymore, so it's okay.
Hello, I'm your saviour.
He's the Gareth Southgate of politics.
I'm Keir Starmer.
We're going to have moments of individual brilliance, just like I won the League Cup with Brentford on Champon.
It's not real.
It's real enough to me. Well, should we end the show there, guys?
I'd say so.
I'm in Ben. Thank you for listening. Do as thou wilt, but remember, love is the law, love and the light.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, and of course be with you.
I've been Gaz, Moonchild. Goodbye.